The Moon Biscuit Adventure. Kit stuffed his favorite dinosaur, Barnaby, into his backpack. He tucked in his fuzzy blue blanket and a spare pair of socks, but his heart still felt heavy. "Do I really have to stay the whole night?" he asked. Dad knelt down and gave him a gentle squeeze. "Grandma Marta's house is full of secrets, Kit. You just have to find them." The car pulled up to a small cottage that smelled like pine trees and rain. Grandma Marta stood on the porch, waving her flowery apron like a flag. "Welcome to the sleepover suite," she called out with a twinkle in her eyes. Kit took a deep breath, the wooden stairs creaking under his sneakers as he walked toward the big blue door. When Dad's car finally vanished around the corner, Kit felt a tiny flutter in his tummy. It wasn't a happy butterfly. It was a nervous one that made him want to run after the car. He sat on his suitcase in the hallway, looking at the long shadows stretching across the rug. "I have a bit of a problem," Grandma Marta said, peeking her head out from the kitchen. "I plan to bake moon biscuits tonight, but the dough is far too heavy for an old lady like me to stir. Do you think you could lend me your muscles?" Kit looked at his arms and then at her. He decided he could probably help. The kitchen was warm and filled with the scent of cinnamon. Grandma Marta tipped a bowl of flour onto the table, and a giant white cloud erupted like a snowy volcano. She laughed, her face dusted with white powder, and showed Kit how to push and pull the dough. To make them real moon biscuits, they needed starlight sprinkles from the very top shelf of the pantry. Grandma Marta held the ladder steady while Kit climbed up. He reached high, past jars of pickles and honey, until his fingers touched a jar that shimmered like silver. The sun went down, and the house grew quiet and dark. Grandma Marta led Kit to a bedroom where the quilt looked like a map of the ocean, with stitched whales and golden islands. "It's a bit different than your room at home," she whispered, tucking the edges of the quilt around him. "But the stars are exactly the same." Grandma Marta sat on the edge of the bed and pulled a worn book from her pocket. The pages were thin and smelled like vanilla. As she read stories of brave explorers who traveled by the light of the moon, Kit felt the nervous butterfly in his tummy finally fall fast asleep. After Grandma Marta left the room, Kit looked out the window. The moon was big and round, hanging in the sky, just like one of the biscuits they had baked. It didn't feel like a lonely night anymore. It felt like the moon was a giant nightlight kept on just for him. The next morning, the kitchen was bright with sunshine. When Dad's car pulled back into the driveway, Kit was busy drawing a map of the ocean bed he had discovered. "Back already?" Kit asked as Dad walked in. He looked at Grandma Marta and smiled. "Can I stay for one more night next weekend?"